My self-centered sister dressed like my daughter's favorite princess and called her entitled when she cried. Our Disneyland trip is ruined. My daughter Sarah is 5 years old and loves everything Disney. Her whole room is covered in drawings from the movies and shows, and all her favorite toys are something from it too. But obviously her favorite is Ariel. I swear this girl thinks she is the real Little Mermaid and my husband and I think it is just the cutest thing ever. I am a huge Disney person too. Take this time to leave your comments about Disney adults being cringy. I can take it so I know that there is a Little Mermaid experience at Disneyland in California. I know my daughter would just love it, so I brought it up to my husband and he thinks it's an awesome idea, but thought it might be even more fun to bring my mother and sister along too. It was going to be perfect. We told our daughter about the plan and just like any other little kid she can't wait to go and can't stop talking about it. I did some research with her and we learned about this place in the park where you can take your kids to get dressed up like one of the princesses. They get to have their makeup and hair done and they get covered in sparkles and all that. It's nothing crazy, but I bet it feels pretty special for the little girls. And I thought, hey, for her first time going to Disneyland it might as well be as magical as possible, right? So we drive all the way to California with the three of us and Auntie and Grandma in the car. It was about a 15-hour drive from where we live. We only had enough to pay to go to one of the parks, and of course we chose the one with Fantasyland because my daughter says she is dying to meet the princesses. She says, "Mommy, I want to ask Em my questions and get some answers." That's what Ariel says in the movie, do you remember? Of course I remember, but I love her curious little mind. When we were getting dressed to leave for the park, I was telling my sister about the place where Sarah was going to get done up like the Little Mermaid. My sister thought it was so sweet and said maybe she'll dress up as the Little Mermaid too and they can match. I knew she was trying to be sweet but flat out said no. Sarah wants to be Ariel and I wanted her to have her special moment. This should have been the end of it, but my sister prickled right away. One thing about my sister is that she absolutely hates being told no about something, especially if it's something she wants to do. She asked me, why does Sarah get to have all the fun? I want to be a princess too. Okay, well, Sarah is a child, I told her and scoffed. And it's her first time at Disneyland, I just want her to have some fun, can you just let her have this? And then I just left the room because honestly the conversation was over. After all, adults aren't allowed to dress in costume in the parks anyway. We headed towards the park and my daughter was really getting wound up excited. My husband and I were going to take her to the younger cartoon area of the park in the morning and then my mother and sister were going to meet us after. Honestly, those first few hours were bliss. My daughter was having so much fun and we even got a picture with Mickey and Minnie, which is like so rare. I think I'm even going to frame the picture and put it on my desk. But she was still on a one-track course to get a Little Mermaid costume, and I was not going to stop her. We called Grandma and I said meet me there so we can take a picture of her before and after. When my mom and sister met us there though, I knew we were going to have a big problem because my sister had dressed like the Little Mermaid anyway. We all have red hair too, so it was really obvious. I didn't think she would be able to dress like a character in the parks, but apparently they let adults do it if they're wearing regular clothes that just happen to look like what the character wears. So she was wearing like a purple tank top and a long green skirt or something, but it was obvious right away what she had done. In fact, there were even people around her stopping to compliment her, saying how beautiful she was and how much she looked like the Little Mermaid. I looked down at my daughter hoping she hadn't noticed, but I could see that her heart had completely dropped. I knew that should be her that was the Little Mermaid, not my sister who I had already said no to. I ran right over to her like, what the hell, Beach, why did you wear that? My sister laughed her stupid little laugh like, what are you talking about? I'm just wearing regular clothes, but it shouldn't matter anyway because your daughter can share. Then she looked down at my daughter and she was crying. She was trying to hide her face and be quiet because she didn't want anyone to see her crying, but her little whimpering was so sad. I said, look at your niece, you made her cry, what is wrong with you? My sister looked disgusted at me and was like, your daughter is so entitled, I can't believe she is crying over this. We can just both be the Little Mermaid, okay, Sarah? Sarah didn't say anything, just went to hide behind my husband. I made eye contact with my mom and we had this little silent understanding that I need this beach to be out of my sight or I am going to knock her lights out. So my mom took her away. My husband and I took Sarah into the place anyway. She said, no, it's okay, I don't want to anymore, Mommy. Auntie can be the Little Mermaid and I will just be Sarah. I asked if she wanted to be any of the other princesses. She loves Merida too, and she thought about it for a second and then said no. For the rest of the day she was just quiet and would go on all the rides but didn't really seem like she was having fun. I know she's never going to forget this, so I will never let my sister forget either.